Hello everyone. Am I audible? If you guys want, you can have a chat with me. If you want, you have a discussion like on mic as well.
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Audible? Okay. So let me know if you can see my screen once.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. So am I audible, like properly audible? Like my voice is clear to everyone? Yes or no? Okay. So let me open my chat box option as well. So if you want, you can chat with me. No issue with me. So in the meantime, you can grab your notebook and pencil. So we will start with the basics, very basics of statistics. Then we will jump to the main SPSS part as well. So today I have shared one PDF with you all with few questions that we have to practice with some formulas here and there. It might be going to help you for your PharmD exams. If you're an MD or MBBS or any part of the college, you might have to answer all those questions as well. So what I'm planning now for today's class, if we are getting enough time, we are going to the SPSS and will try to cover up two modules in one shot because I would like to arrange one class in which we are going to have one-on-one session. I'm going to share my data with you all and you have to perform the statistics in front of me. So for that class, I need to arrange one extra class for you all. But the problem is we have SPSS that is only 1 month tile period. So we have to cover up multiple things in one shot. So I will try to cover up the applied statistics, then data cleaning, data entry, data coding, data transformation, and imputation statistics. So I think we can start now. Shall we? Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the first thing what we are doing here is some simple calculation. Now I'm starting with the mean part first of all. So mean is what? Very simple. So before going into all these things, we should know the two broad terms. The first is what? Measure of central tendency. Then we have what? Central dispersion or measure of dispersion. Now in central tendency, we are having what? We are having mean, we are having mode, we are having median. Perfect. In the dispersion, we are having what? The most commonly used standard deviation. Then we are having interquartile range. Then we are having range. So range is what? Nothing. Max minus minimum. And we are having one more thing. That is what? Your mean deviation. So for the research purpose, we usually use standard deviation, but not the mean deviation. Why? Anyone? Why? Anyone? Okay. So the thing is, we should not use mean deviation, but we should use standard deviation. Why? Because mean deviation will not respect your plus or minus sign. If your data is in plus, data is in minus, or vice versa, we have to change this value to the positive value only. We cannot take away the negative value with us. However, in the case of standard deviation, what is going to happen? Your negative value will be carried forward. Your positive numbers will be carried forward. So we are not doing any discrimination between these two values. So that's why we are using standard deviation more in research compared to the mean deviation. Okay. The next thing what we are having is the mean. So mean is what? Average value, correct? What about mode? The most frequent value. This is what? A most frequent value. Other thing what we are having is the median. So what is median? Any number or any characteristic feature or anything that can divide your entire data into two equal parts. Suppose I am having around this much population, this much. So if I can able to find one point of line which can divide the entire data into two equal part one and part two, that will be known as what? Your median. So that is what known as central measure of central tendency. Suppose in this class we are having around 51 individuals. So I cannot remember each and every one age. Some might be 20, 18, 22, 23, 25, 26, 28. So I will not be able to remember the age of every individual. So I need to find one cutoff method. So what I can do, I can find the measure of central tendency. So this is what I'm able to find the central value out of you all to represent the entire data. That is what a central tendency, in which what we are having mean, mode, median. Then we are having measure of dispersion. Measure of dispersion. So this is what certain values will rotate, will be surrounding the mean values or the central tendency values. This will be known as what? As measure of central dispersion or measure of dispersion. Correct? Suppose in your exam, your friend is topper. So you might have noticed during the exam time, people will be around the topper. So those people are what? A dispersion people because his numbers tends to be around the central tendency. Correct? So do we have any doubts now with respect to central tendency and dispersion? Any doubts? Anyone? Others? Other than Kavya? Archana, which part? To be like very specific, which part, Archana? Okay, so let's have a quick revision again. Okay, now we are having around 71 individuals. So let's have a quick revision once again. So remember in statistics, we deal with two major part. That is what a measure of central tendency and the measure of dispersion. Two simple things. In the central tendency, we are having three important parameters. That is what a mean, we are having what a mean, we are having median, we are having mode. Correct. What about the dispersion? In this, we are having interquartile range. We are having a simple range. So what is IQR? Nothing. Q3 minus Q2. This we are going to learn in the upcoming classes. What about range? Nothing but maximum minus minimum value. Then we are having mean deviation and then we are having standard deviation. Now, in your classes, in your research paper, you might have seen two major things. That is what? Some value plus minus ST, right? But in research, we are not using mean deviation. The reason is very simple. Why? Because in mean deviation, it will not allow your data to be changed. So suppose in your data, if you are having any negative value, it need to be changed to positive value to be a part of mean deviation. What about standard deviation? It does not care about the plus and minus sign. It will take data for the calculation part. Correct? That is why we are using standard deviation, not mean deviation in the research purpose. Okay. So what about simple things? What about mean? Mean is what? Average value of the data. What about median? It can divide your data into two equal parts. Any number, any factor that can divide your data into two equal parts. That is what a median. It divide, sorry, it divide data into two equal parts. To two equal parts. What about mode? The most frequent observation or most frequent occurring number. This is what? A frequent observed value. This is what? Your mode. Now, in your PharmDs, in your B Farm, in your M Farm, in your MBBS, MD, DNB, DM, any course you are in, you have to answer these questions in your exam. This will be in your exams very soon. So that's why we are trying to solve some basic things. I'm not touching the very advanced thing for you all. So let's start with the first question. That is what? Calculate the mean of the weight of five students. So we are having five individuals. So what is the formula? Anyone? Anyone? I'm asking very simple things. Okay, so do we have any doubts now or any questions for me? Archana, all solved? All done? Okay, so I need you people to be very active, otherwise you can't learn statistics. You need to answer me, my questions, my doubts, everything. Yes, perfect. So how to solve it? 54 plus 56 plus 70 plus 45 plus 50 upon number of observation, that is what, 5. Now solve it with me. That is how much? Okay. We around 275 upon 5. This will be how much? 55.
55.
Yes, perfectly fine. So this is your mean value. Correct? 55, 55. Correct, Arun. Correct, Anushka. Perfectly fine. Now let's have one more question. The first question was very basic. I'm touching little bit advanced for you people. Now the next question what we are having is the arithmetic mean for the following data. But in here we are having what frequency also with us. So how to find mean with the data holding frequency as well. So what we can do, just try to remember the formulas, then automatically you can go into create the tables. Now, what is the formula for such type of mean? The formula is very simple. That is summation of Fi xi upon summation of Fi. Correct? F is what? Frequency. Perfectly fine. Now we need to find what? X and F. Correct? The above value. Now 20 into 5. How much? 100. 30 into 6, how much? 180. 40 into 4, 160. Now calculate it. You're getting how much? 440. This will be what? Your submission of Fi xi. Perfectly fine. Now we have to put these values into the formula. Now submission of Fi xi upon submission of Fi. What about your Fi xi? How much it is? 440. What about your frequency? How much it is? Calculated 15. So 440 upon 15, how much we are getting? How much we are getting? Archana, 146.3? No. Yes.
29.33, sir.
Yes, perfectly fine. This is your mean value for the frequency data. Correct? So do we have any doubts? Anyone? Any doubts? Till now, just try to recall this formula. That's it. Sorry. We just have to recall the formula, then our part is done automatically. This is your formula for data holding the frequencies also. Okay. Let's have one more part in which we are having class interval. Now we don't hold X value. We don't hold a true value. Now we are having what? A class interval and the frequency. So how to solve it? Anyone? The first thing, the first common step is like we need to find the X value like the above. Here we are having X value. So we need to find the X value for the same data. So how to find it? It's very simple. So the formula is what? 0 plus 10 upon 2. 10 plus 20 upon 2, 20 plus 30 upon 2, 30 plus 40 upon 2, 40 plus 50 upon 2. Simple, right? By solving this, you're going to find the X value automatically. Your X value is what? 5. What about next one? Anyone? Solve with me. 15. Perfect. Others? Next. Next. 25. Perfect. Next. 35, 45. Okay. 35 and 45. This is your X value. Now the main thing, our formula. We should know the formula for solving this type of data. Now formula is very simple again. Same like above. Summation of Fi. Correct. Now we need to find Fi also to meet the above parameter. Now again, you have to help me now. Calculate it. How much we are getting? Fi xi. How much? 15. Next. Tell me. Others. Yes, perfect. Okay, 75. Then, yes, perfect. 175. Yes, correct. Others, yes, 180. Yes, perfect. Okay, good. Now we need to find the values to put for the formula. So what about Fi xi? This is Fi xi also. Just add it. How much we are getting? 760. What about the frequencies? Sum of frequencies, how much? 28. Now we have the values with us. That is summation of xi, fi xi, summation of fi. We have to put numbers, that is 760 upon 28. How much we are getting? How much? Yes, 27.14. This is your answer. Perfectly fine. Yes. So do we have any doubts? Anyone? Any doubts? No? Others?
No, sir.
Others? All clear? Clear, clear, clear. Okay, let me open. Okay, good. Okay, the next thing what we are having is the median. So what is median? A quick revision. What is median? Anyone? What is median? Central value. Yes, perfectly fine. Middle value, middlemost value, perfectly fine. Okay. Now here what we are having is the two set of data in which we are having some odd values and we are having some even values as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what your odd value, and this is your even value. So we should be able to find a median of the both the terms. Okay. So first take up the A part. Now the first step what we all should be able to follow is the arrangement of numbers from in the lowest to the highest frequency. So 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Finding median is very simple in the case of odd values because we need to find the central number. That is what a 6. A 6 is what? Your median. Correctly fine? Yes or no? See, look at the 6 number. Here we are having two individuals. Again, here we are having two individuals. So 6 is exactly dividing the data into two equal parts. Yes or no? Correct? Correct? Yes. Okay. So let's take the next number also. That is what? You're having 7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 10. The first step is what? Arrangement in the ascending order. Okay. So what we are going to do? We need to arrange. That is 3, 4, then 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So what is the formula now? Formula is very simple. That is what? N upon 2 observation plus n plus 1 upon 2 observation upon 2. So what is n now? The number of observation, correct? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your n is what? 6. N is what? A number of observation, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So your n is what? 6. So 6 upon 2, bracket close, observation plus 6 plus 1 upon 2, your observation, correct? Upon 2. So if you're going to solve it, what we are getting is third, 3 plus 4 observation, third observation upon 2. So what is our third observation? 7. What is our fourth observation? That is 8. Now 7 plus 8 upon 2. How much you are getting? How much?
7.5.
7.5. Yes. This is your answer. Yes. Perfectly fine. Do we have any doubts? Any questions? So if you can recall the formulas, you can solve any question in statistics. Others, do we have any doubts? Any question?
No,
Out
sir.
of 121. But I'm getting only same names again and again. What about others? So okay, so how many interns are we are having in this class? Can I get a thumbs up in the chat box? How many of you are interns in this class? Okay, perfectly fine. Okay. The next thing what we are having is the median. How to find median from with the frequency data. Okay. Now remember the thumb rule. First thing is we need to arrange data always in the ascending order. But if you are having the frequency, then there is no need to arrange data in the ascending order. So what is the formula for this part? That is n by 2. So n is what? Number of observation. 2 is what? Any number that can divide the data into equal parts. Perfect. Now, the first thing what we should do is we need to find one factor, that is what? CF. So what is CF? Your cumulative frequency. Your cumulative frequency. right? And how to find it? It's very again simple. 7 will be 7. 7 plus 5, how much? 12. 12 plus 4, how much? 16. 16 plus 3, how much? 19. So obviously, this is 19. Perfect, right? Yes or no? Yes. So for such
Yes,
cases,
sir.
n upon 2 will be what? 19 upon 2. You have to solve it. What we are getting? 9.5. So we need to find any value that should be equal to 9.5 or should be more than 9.5 in the CF range, not in the F range, right? So in CF, we are getting what? 12, correct? Either you need to find out the 9.5. If not, then we need to find what? A number more than 9.5. But we are getting what? 12. So what is the median? Answer me. What is the median? 40. Simple. Simple. Any doubts? Any questions? No? No? Perfectly. Okay. So let's take one more question, that is mode. So mode is what? A quick revision. Answer me. What is mode? What is mode? Answer me. First, I need definition. Then we can answer.
Most repeated
Most
value,
frequent
sir.
occurring observation. Yes, perfectly. Yes. So the first thing first, you should not be able to answer only 7 in your exam. You need to make the table for it. If it is coming for 5 marks, if you write 7, you will get around half or 1 marks. That's it. But you need to make a proper table for it. So how to make a table? Write X. X is what? Your observation. Right? Sorry. And your frequency. So what numbers we are having? 2, then we are having 3, then we are having 4, then 7, then 9, then 10 and 12. Now calculate the number of observations. For 2, we are having 2. What about 3? We are having 1. What about 4? We are having 1. What about 7? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 9, we are having 1. 10, we are having 1. What about 12? We are having 2. So which frequency is more? Anyone? Which frequency is more? For 7? Correct. Yes. So answer is what? 4 or 7? Answer is what? 4 or 7? Yes. So your mode is what? 7. Correct. Okay. Now let's take one more question for the mode part in which we are having class intervals. Right? Now we need to learn one formula to calculate the mode with the data in class interval or frequency. In your questions, they will not ask for the class interval. They will tell you to find the mode of the group data. In question, they might ask you find the mode of the group data of the group data. So this is what your group data. Fine. Now remember one formula to solve it. It's very simple actually if you can learn with my method. So our formula is what? Mode is equal to L plus, oh, sorry, not this one. Let me zoom in. So formula is what? L plus F1 minus F0 upon F1 minus F0 plus F1 minus F2 bracket close into H. Correct? This formula I have to remember. My voice is low. No, it is fine. Is it fine now? Voice? Fine. Okay, perfect. Okay, this is the formula to calculate the mode value. Okay. Now, how to remember this formula? That is the main question actually. So L is what? So L is what? Your lower case frequency. Your lower frequency. Okay. What about F1? F0 and F2. F1 is what? Your mode. F0 is what? Your pre-mode. F2 is what? Your post mode. What about H? This is the width. And how to find the width? Suppose we are getting this value. So 30 minus 20 is equal to 10. This is your width. If we are getting more in this range only, so 20 is what? Your lower range. This will be your L. This will be your H. Fine. Now, first thing first, we need to remember this formula that is more important for us now. So remember the simple trick to remember this trick. We are having three friends, F0, F1, and F2. It's a simple number, 0, 1, 2. Friend 0, friend 1, friend 2. Friend 0 is a happy friend. F2 is a happy friend. But F1 is the angry friend, right? So what it will do, it will fight with F0 also, and it will fight with F2 also. Remember this simple trick. We have three friends, F0, F1, F2. Friend 1 is a kind of angry person, so it fights with F0 and F2 always. So this is how we are coming up with a formula. That is what your L plus friend 1 fights with F0 upon friend 1 fights with F0 plus F1 fights with F2 also into H. This is the trick to remember this formula. Correct? Now let's come to the solving part. Okay. Now, as per the definition, what is more? The most frequently occurring observation. Perfectly fine. So here what we are having. See, Arun, the thing is, in different books, no, we have different type of formulas as well. So if you are happy with that formula, then you can completely go with it. There is no issue. But with my lectures, with my book, I follow this rule, this formula. Actually, this is much better to solve because we need to remember the formula in the exam part. So I don't think that you might be able to remember 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 for the exam part. And it's totally up to you, Arun, not like a hard and fast rule. Okay. Now, what is more? The most frequently occurring observation. So here we are having 9. So our mode is what? 9. Correct? What our mode is? 1340 range. Perfectly fine. Now, if this is 9 is the most frequent observation, so this is what your F1. This is what your F1, your mode. What about pre-mode? Your 7. What about post mode? Your 4. Fine. What about the L value? Yes, perfectly fine, Nikhil. Perfectly fine. Yes. So this is the range. 30 is what your L. What about your width? 30 minus 40 minus 30 is equal to 10. This is your WH. This is your L. This is your F1, F0, and F2. So what is the formula? L plus F1 minus F0, or F1 fights with F0. F1 fights with F0 plus F1 fights with F2 into H. Now L is what? L is what? L is what? 30. Good. What about F1? What about F1? 9. Correct. What about F0? Perfect. Good. Then again, F1 is what? 7 plus F1 minus F into 10. Now solve it. Solve this equation. Solve this equation for me now. It's a simple mathematics. Yes. Good, Arun. Yes, correct. The answer is 32.8. Yes. So this is what your mode for the class interval data, or mode for the group data. So do we have any doubts? Do we have any doubts? That trick is good to remember for your main exams.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So don't forget my trick for the exam part. Remember, we have three friends, F1, F0, F2. Done. Thank you, Meghna. Thank you. Uh, One more question. I think it went somewhere. Sir, why use modules? Modulus? What is modulus? There is no modulus there anywhere. Okay. The next thing what we are having is the distribution. Now, in your exam, sorry, in your schools, you might be witnessing some strict teachers nearby you people, which might be very, very strict to you. Okay, we have ST afterwards. So I think we should solve ST first. Okay. Now the question is how to find the ST value. What is ST or your standard deviation? Okay. So the simple formula to calculate the standard deviation is what? Anyone? This is a symbol for standard deviation. Formula is what? Under root 1 by n summation of x square minus mean square. Simple thing. Formula is very simple. 1 upon n summation x square minus mean square. That's it. Fine. So here we just try to focus on two values. That is what your x square and the mean value and the n value. So if you can find these three values, we are able to get standard deviation. We are able to get variance also. Okay. So let's solve it. What is n here? The number of observation. Find out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So n is what? 7. Fine. The next thing what we need to find out is x square. So we are already having x. We need to just square it. So 10 ka square. How much? Yes. 27 square. Anyone? 27 square? Good. 729. Others, solve for me. 40 ka square. How much? 1600. 60. How much? 3600. 33. How much? 10. 8, 9. 30. 900. 10. 100. Simple. Yes. Correct. Now just calculate it. How much we are getting? Nearby 8118. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it right or not? Yes. Good, correct. Okay. Now we got what? X square also. That is what? 8118. The next thing what we need to find out is the mean. So in statistics, this is what? A sign of mean. So this is what? A mean we need to find out. So how to find mean? It's very simple. X upon number of observation. So this is what? Calculate 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 100. This will be around 200, 210, 210, right? So this is what? Number of observation, sorry, upon number of observation. This is what? 7. So X dash is what? How much? 30. Yes, perfect. Now we are having all the numbers together with us. That is what n7 x squared we got. Mean how much? 30. Now we need to put these numbers into the formula and our work is done. So 1 upon 7 into how much? 8118 minus 30 square whole square. Solid. What we are getting? Simple maths we are doing now. Solid. Will be okay. So this what we are getting is around 1157. Sorry, 9 minus 900. Then how much we are getting? 259. Correct? Correct? 32.11. This is what? No. Then you have to put the calculator use here. Then what we are getting? 16.11. We are getting 16.11. Correct? Yes, Mohit. Correct. Yes. Fine. Yes. Okay. The next question is what? Find the variance from ST. The question is very simple. Find the variance from ST. Now the formula is again a very simple thing for the variance part. Now, if you know the simple or basic statistics, this is your variance 259, not the like the square root. Your 259 is the variance. And if you are putting the square root, you are getting 16.11. This is what your standard deviation. So if someone is asking you that your SD is what 16.11, find the variance. Nothing you have to do 16.11 into 16.11. You will get what? The same number like this 259. You can try also. This is the variance what we are getting. Okay. Now, in the exam paper, the most commonly asked question is not on the variance. This is based on the coefficient of variance. Okay. Now, the second question comes, what is the major difference between variance versus coefficient of variance? Anyone? Anyone knows? Anyone? Yes, Ramya. Actually, we have a formula for all this part, but I'm not going that much deep. So if you know how to find out the standard deviation, you can directly find out the variance also. But in your exam, people going to ask questions on the coefficient of variance, not on the variance part. So what is variance and why we are using CV, not variance? Yes, correct, Arun. Okay, so I think Arun can answer. Why for the main calculation part, we have to use CV, not V? Okay, so I will give you one more short trick to remember the difference between these two parts. Remember, we are having what? V means VIP. VIP needs security, otherwise it will be killed, right? So this is like very unstable on its own. In short, it depends on the unit of the observation what we are providing. Is it kilograms, centimeters, or any other unit? But CV does not rely on the security. It does not depends on what? Your units. So this is like completely independent. So people who are like not depending on each other, they are more strong, right? So CV is comparatively more strong than V. Remember one more thing. Lesser the value of CV, more the good results. More the good results. Fine. Yes, Mega. Yes. CV is unitless. Yes, Mohit. You are correct. Even Mega is correct. Okay. Now let's have one question. Now, two laboratories were linked with Clement Pharmacology Department to deliver the CBC, LFT, RFT blood results for the mice blood. Lab A takes 14.2 plus minus 3.2 hours. Lab B takes 12.2 plus minus 2.88 hours to deliver the results. Find out which lab is more consistent with the work. Answer me. Okay, one more thing. Sorry. Remember, coefficient of variance will be always in points, right? So two things we are putting in the coefficient of variance. That is what a standard deviation and the mean value. If we are getting data in the terms of point, so it is very obvious that the above number will be comparatively higher than the lower one. So if we are comparing ST and mean, so mean will be more compared to the ST, right? So to obtain the numbers in the points value, we have to invert it. That is what ST upon mean. Correct? Yes or no? Yes or no? Simple thing we are discussing. No, simple maths we are discussing. Remember one thing that coefficient of variance will always be in the range of points, right? To obtain the value that is in the points, we should be able to know that upper value will be always lower, correct? So SD is always small compared to mean, right? So if you can put these values in this formula, so formula is what? Your SD upon mean, you will get answer automatically. So tell me, which lab is much better? Answer me. Which lab is much better? Okay, so what is 3.2 upon 14.2? How much you got for this part? How much CV you got for lab A? 0.22. Okay. What about lab 2, lab B? How much you got for lab B? How much you got for lab B? Meghna, how much you got for lab B? 0.188. Okay. So which lab is much better? Answer me. Which lab is much better? A or B? Which lab is much better?
So for lab B, the value is 0.22, 0.23.
Sorry, what? It is lab B. How much we are getting?
0.23.
0.23. Okay. Okay. So answer me now. Which lab is much better? See, the rule is very simple. CV should always be less. Lesser the CV, good the results. Now answer me. Lab A, perfectly fine. Correct, everyone. Lab A is much better than Lab B. Yes. Okay, so this is how you need to find out the which lab is more good to go. Okay. Then let's come to the distribution part. Now, if you can remember this image for the exam purpose, then you can crack your exam very easily. Okay. Now, in the exams, probably you might be facing 2 or 3 teachers. In your college also, you might be having 2 type of teachers. One, like is very strict teacher you are getting. And one teacher is like very lenient with you all, loving teacher you are getting. Good teacher. Okay. So in exam, if you are not getting the passing marks, he is going to fail you, but he is going to pass you. The same thing we need to follow with the kurtosis and the skewiness also, right? So in the statistics, we have 2 teachers. One teacher is what? Kurtosis. One teacher is what? Kurtosis. In kurtosis, he is having the very strict cutoff. He holds a very strict cutoff to pass the individual. That is what? 0. What he holds? 0. So if any number is equal to 0, that is what? Equally distributed. Equally distributed. If any number is less than 0, that means what? Peak will be short and broad. Peak will be what? Short plus broad. What about if it is more than 0? Then this peak will be higher plus thin, right? This is like the memory question. This is not the like ratification we can do, but this is you have to remember anyhow. Like kurtosis is a very strict teacher. He follows the cutoff of 0. So if you are getting 0, that means you are equally distributed. If you are getting less than 0, that means you are short and broad. If you are more than 0, then you are higher and thin. So how to remember this part? Remember with this diagram. Correct? Here we are having what? A broad stomach and the short height, right? So this will be what? Your kurtosis less than 0. Yes or no? Look for the other friend. He is what? Tall and thin. So this is what? Kurtosis more than 0. Correct? Remember with this diagram. Done, everyone? Do we have any doubts with respect to kurtosis? Anyone? No? So if question comes, what kurtosis actually indicate? It indicate how much data is spread. How much data is tall, higher, broad, or thin. Suppose in this class of having around 139 individuals, I need to find the height. Now, suppose I am getting kurtosis of more than 0. It indicate in my class I'm having individuals among which height is very tall. If I'm getting kurtosis more than 0, that means in my class, people are more than the average height. What about kurtosis less than 0? People are shorter than the average height. What about 0? People are matching with the average height. Correct? The next teacher, what we are having is the skewness. And what it measures? It measures how much data is symmetrical, right? This is very lenient teacher, first of all. So we do have a multiple range to follow now. The first range is 0. That means data is symmetrical. Correct? Now, if it is less than 0.5 to 0 or plus 0.5 to 0, that means we can consider that data is almost symmetrical. Almost symmetrical. In some books, they are writing approximately symmetrical. Okay. The next thing, if it is 0.5 minus to minus 1.0 or plus 0.5 to plus 1.0, then this is what? Moderately asymmetrical. Sorry, moderate symmetrical is presence. Correct? Now, one more value we are having. If data is plus 1 or minus 1, this indicate what? Perfect asymmetry. This indicate what? Perfect asymmetry. Perfect asymmetry. Correct? Done? So nothing can be done, but you have to remember these values. Kurtosis, 0, very strict teacher. Skewness, we have a lenient teacher with multiple ranges. So that you have to remember anyhow. Done? Anyone? Do we have any doubts? Any questions now? Anyone's? Anyone? Any doubts? Any question? Nandani, Aditya, Akshaya, Akshita, Anirudh, Anuja, Anuksha. Anyone? Aparna, Archit, Arun. Any doubts for me? No? No one? Skewness. Okay, so skewness is nothing but a data distribution. How much data is spread from the mean value? Suppose I am getting in this class, we are getting around suppose 90, 19 plus minus, then we are getting around suppose 2.8 average height, sorry, age, and we are getting skewness of what? Suppose we are getting around 1.0 plus 1.0. This indicate what? A data is not symmetrically arranged. That means in your data, we are having a lot of variation. Some people might be 19 of age, some 39, some might be 52, some might be 9. We are getting a lot of range from the central value. This is what indicates by the skewness. What about kurtosis? How much data is tall, short, wide, or thin? So this is how you have to remember these two parts. Done? Done, everyone? Ah, yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much. This Kirtana. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Actually, I forgot only that part. Okay. So remember positive and negative skewness also. Now, let me change the color ones. Okay. Now, suppose this is your graph. Okay. Yes, Meghna, we are coming. We are coming. Now, remember, if it is like this, sorry, if it is like this, that means we can see the data symmetry is there. Correct? That means on the same location, it is holding three values. That is what? Your mode, your median, and your mean. Now, during our school times, class 9 and 10 time, we used to draw one graph that is like this, negative and the positive. Can you recall such graphs? During your 9th and 10th, we used to draw such graphs in which we were getting negative and positive here. Yes or no? Can you just recall a simple thing? Yes. Perfect. So you need to remember this trick to remember the positive and the negative skewness. Simple. Now, let's take negative part first. So let me draw one graph like this. And suppose, let me draw one thing for you. It is coming like this. Okay, like this. Now, again, try to recall your 9th and 10th basics. This is what your negative. This is what your positive. You have to follow the tail, where tail is going more. It is going more on the right hand side. Remember this trick to remember this uh, positive and negative squareness. If tail is more toward the right side, more toward the positive side. So this is what? A positive squareness graph? Yes or no? Yes or no? Simple things. If you can remember this trick, what we have discussed, then you can easily identify the graph pattern. Is it negative or positive? You just need to follow the graph tail. It is coming toward which side? Negative or the positive side? Left or right? Right means positive, left means negative. Simple. Now, in such cases, it holds three values. One here, and one here. So this is what your mode, this is what your median, this is what your mean. Correct? Now let me draw one more graph. Just try to recall this, try to remember this graph only. If you can remember, then our work is almost done. Okay, the next graph. Okay. Now suppose my line is more toward the left side, like this. So this is what? Remember our simple tricks. This is negative, this is positive. This is what then? It's not the positive graph. Negative. Just try to remember the simple trick of 9th and 10th mathematics. Negative, positive, just try to follow the tail. This is the tail. You have to follow tail. The tail going which side? Positive or negative side? That's it. Yes, correct, everyone. Correct. So again, this will be going to give us three different values. The first is what? Your mode, then your median, then your mean. This is what? Your negative squareness. Correct. Yes. Done. So if you can remember 9th and 10th mathematics, then our work is very simple to go, very easy to done. You can crack statistics very easily. Done? Graphs for kurtosis. Yes. Okay. Okay. So this will be your graph for the kurtosis. Okay. Now you only answer me. This is what? K what? Answer me. This is what? This is what? Short and broad. Can you appreciate? Short and broad? Yes, less than zero. Yes, perfect. Less than zero. Then this is what? This long and thin. Remember two friends. This is what? Long and thin. Yes, more than zero. So this is the graph what we usually draw for the kurtosis in the exam. Yes, correct, everyone. Correct, correct, correct. Okay. Yes, correct. Okay, so let me know how many of you have downloaded the SPSS now. Tell me. So how many of you have taken SPSS on desktop? Others? On? Oh, good. Very good. So I think we can do one more class now. So let me stop my screen and let me know if you can see my screen now. Okay. So let me zoom in. Now, what we are learning first of all is few important parameters. The one is what? Data cleaning, then data entry, then data coding, then data transformation and imputation statistics. Okay. So first thing what we are having is the data cleaning. So suppose let me take one variable that is gender. Then we are taking male and we are taking female. Okay. So during the data entry, what can happen? You might write capital M, then followed by small letters. You might write all capital. Same, what you can do, you can write the wrong spelling, that MELE, right? Same thing can go for the female. Okay, you can write FEMALE. You might write FEMEELE by mistake. You might write all capital. You might write all small. Correct? Now, the problem during the statistics is like, even though we are having two people here, male and female, but as per the statistics, we are giving them around 8 to 9 categories. So as per the statistics, this is 9 different individuals. But for us, we are having only two individuals, that is male and female. So male will be male, female is female, again male is male, male is male, male is male. But for the statistics, this is not male. This is male, this is female, this is some other male, not so by the statistics. So that is what data cleaning is very important for the data analysis. So the next thing what we should do is data coding. So that's why we code male as one. It's totally up to you. If you want, you can code two as well. You can code zero as well. Does not matter as such. But write one. For female, you can do you two. No issue. Other again male, 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 female, 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 female. Perfect. Any doubts till now? Anyone? Any doubts? Okay, so let me open the chat box again. No doubts, right? Simple thing. This is what known as data coding. So why data coding is important, you might know now. Done? Right? So once you are coding the data, so automatically you are cleaning the data as well. Okay. Now let's suppose during your exam, okay, let me open the statistics now to give you the imputation statistics touch. Just give me 2 minutes. It is opening. So as such of now, people can just observe. Then we can move on to the next class. No issue. Okay, so let me take data into this part. So if you want, you can just carry forward with me. If you want, you can just observe. As such of now, in the next class, we're learning the proper data entry and all those things. Now click on file, click on open, click on data. Now select the folder or file where your data is located. Mine is on desktop. It's in statistics class, SPSS class. Now nothing is coming up. Why? Because I need to change the file of type. That is what Excel. Now suppose I'm taking this class. Okay, open. Now you will get this type of block. If you are having more than sheet one, it will show you more than sheet one. Then you can select as per your interest. Then click on OK. Now here is the SPSS chart. Do not worry, we are going to learn all these steps in the next class, but I'm just teaching you two important things. That's it. Now, first thing what we are learning is the data imputation or statistical imputation. So what is imputation in statistics? Suppose you are doing data collection in which you have some missing data. So what you will do, you will go back to your MRD, you will go back to your data source and will try to recover the lost data. Sometimes what happen, you might be not able to find the missing data. So what we can do, we can apply the imputation statistics. So a rule is very simple. If data is in the continuous variable, that is what like age, 18, 19, 30, 40, 42, 43, or we are having data in the categorical format, male, female, UG, PG, higher education, in that way. So we need to apply mean and mode to find the missing data. Now suppose, let me take age. Suppose this is 73. So let me remove 73 from here. And again, we can remove 760 from here. Fine. So what we can do, go to analyze, go to descriptive statistics, go to frequency, select age because my two variables are missing from the age part. So what we can do, click on statistics, click on mean, click on standard deviation, click on continue, click on OK. So what we are getting here, 53 plus minus 23, sorry, 53.23 plus minus 12.83, right? So even though I'm writing here 53 or I'm writing 54, it does not matter. Why? The remaining value, it was 70, sorry, it was 73 initially, but we are getting what? 54. Here we were having 60. Sorry, here we are having somewhere more. So let's take this example only for your reference. So here we are getting 54, 73, but we know initially it was having what? 73. So that big difference will be managed by what? The standard deviation. That was how much we were getting? 12.83. Correct? Simple? Yes or no? Or confused? Any doubts? Yes, I will
Sir,
repeat.
repeat it again, sir.
Yes, sure, sure. So this will be 73. Okay. And this will be 60. Okay. Now, imputation statistics we need to apply when you're not able to catch your missing data. I think you can mute your mic once. Mike, please. Okay, so let me open the chat box option again, then we can continue. Okay, so the imputation statistics we need to apply when your data is missing somewhere. Suppose out of 1,000 individuals, you have missing data of 20 individuals or 10 individuals. So what you can do, you will go back to your data source and you will try to catch the missing data. Or you will go to the MRD and you will try to catch the missing data. But in certain circumstances, what happened, you will not be able to find the missing value. There what we have the role of imputation statistics, right? So what it's going to do, it is going to find the missing value of your data, right? Now, suppose in this example, we can take, suppose I'm taking 52. Now, suppose this number is missing from the 17. So in the age category, I'm having all the data, but number 17 age is missing. So what I will do, I will go back to my MRD, I will go back to my EMR system, I will go back to my documents, and I will try to find the missing data. If it is there, then well and good. If it is not there, then we need to apply the imputation statistics. So for data that is in the continuous variable like age, your height, your weight, like suppose in this class we are having around 140 individuals, you might be age around 25, 22, 23, 21, 30, 35, anything, right? So for that part, we have to apply mean. If your data is missing from the data of category, suppose male, female, undergraduate, postgraduate, or higher degree, lower degree, in that part. So there we have to apply what mode for the imputation statistics. So suppose here F is missing. I removed F, correct? So what I'm going to do, so for the continuous data, we need to apply mean plus minus ST. So go to analyze, descriptive statistic, frequency, select age because my data is missing from the age. Go to statistics, select mean and the standard deviation, click on continue, click on OK. Getting how much? 53.52. We can take overall of 54, right? So number is matching before, correct? So if you can recall, what about the missing data from the gender category? Now one data is missing. So what we can do, again, go back to analyze, descriptive, frequency, reset, collect gender, shift to variable, then remove all this part. Okay, and okay. Now this is showing the frequency table to me. So here frequency is more of what? Male, that is 73. So we have to apply what? M. So even though some data will be going here and there, but it will not cause much deviation. So remember, if you are having data of 1,000 individuals, apply this technique only for the 10 or 20 patients, but not for the more than 20 patients. That's it. Any doubts now? Clear? No, it will not give Mohit. Why? Because we are having standard deviation. In the end, we are getting SD also. So during the research part, we need to report age in the mean plus minus SD part. So that's why we are calculating SD here. So let me show you SD again. So it is what? uh, 53.52 plus minus 12.94. So this standard deviation is like either your age will be less than 12.94 or more than 12.94 with the standard deviation, correct? So this error will be managed by what? The standard error. Sorry, the standard deviation. Even though we are getting age here and there, but this will be managed by what? A standard deviation. Correct? Okay, perfectly. Uh, see, Aparna, the thing is very simple. If you can arrange the data, missing data by the proper system, go back to your MRD, go back to your records, to go back to your database searching and all those things, then perfectly fine to go. If not able to get the entire data, then we can apply imputation statistics. Correct? Okay, so Arun, the thing is very simple. I'm teaching you this method not to misuse, first of all. This technique is to be used by the statistician people only, first of all. Next thing, go and try to collect data of your missing values. Do not try to play with data. Otherwise, or your data will be wrong, completely wrong. And nowadays, journals are hiring statistician people to check your data. So if they found any problem in your data calculation, data analysis, your paper will be sent back to you with a rejection mail. Fine. So if you have to apply imputation in very rare case only, first thing first, go back to your MRD, go back to database searching, try to find the missing value. By doing your 100%, not able to find the missing value, then you have to apply what? Imputation statistics, in which we are able to find what? The missing range. So if your data is in the continuous variable, like the number of students, 24, 25, their age, 19, 18, 17, 34, 44, 41, their height, 160 centimeter, 5.5 feet, 4 feet, 3 feet, all those things. So there we have to apply what? Mean. If you are having data in the category format, like age, sorry, like gender, male, female, like qualifications, undergraduate, postgraduate, uh, education status, uneducated, educated. Among those data, we have to apply mode. So for the mode, we have to check what? Most frequent observation. That will be what? Your missing data. What about the continuous part? Apply mean plus minus SD. Apply mean only for the missing data. Do not apply SD for the missing data. Just write the mean value, whatever you are getting for the missing data. That's it. And the error and the deviation, what we are getting from the true value, will be managed by what? A standard deviation. Fine. So any doubts? Any more doubts for me now? No? Others? Any doubts? Is it simple till now? Simple? Not simple, huh? Yes, Mohit, correct. Clear? Okay. So this was all the basics of statistics. For the next class, we are going a little bit more advanced. So for the next classes, we are going to share some data with you all. So with that data, you people need to be ready for the data analysis hands-on training. So on the same day of class or one day before the class, I'm going to share data with you all. Open this class in the laptop or in your laptop, then in your mobile, in your laptop, get ready with the SPSS and the data what I'm providing you. Kirtana, this is totally a different thing what we are learning. So if you want a consultation for sample size, you can contact me for that part. So sample size we are not doing here because SPSS is not for the sample size. We have a different software for sample size. Okay. So do we have any doubts now with respect to mean, mode, median, or anything? Data cleaning, data entry, data coding, and all those things. No? Others? Okay. Okay, that question went away. Okay. Uh, Nishwati, the thing is like you should be able to check data once. So if you are checking data, automatically you're going to find out which test we have to apply for that part. So that's why you should be able to learn the basics of statistics first of all. So we are not jumping on the advanced part as such of now. We are going step by step manner. So by the end of this course, you will be able to distinguish on which data, which test we need to apply automatically. So don't worry, for the next class, we are starting with the test also. So I'm going to share data with you in which we need to practice as much as possible. And we will give one extra class for you people in which you need to share your screen. I will call any individual and he or she need to share the screen and run the statistics part for me. Done? Okay. Any doubts, any questions now for me? I'm like happy to answer. Done? Okay. Okay. Okay, so I think we can wind up now. So for the next class, we are going to revise again how to open SPSS, how to enter data, and how to code data, how to transform data, and all those things. Okay, so I think we can wind up now. Oh, thank you, Meghna. Thank you. Yes, wait, I'm writing. I think it's in my group only. This is my number. Okay, wait, I'm doing a open message. Wait. This is my number. Gopni, there is no feedback form because this is the entire course what we are going on. So after the link, after the course, you're going to get the feedback form, not now. Thank you so much, Mohit. Attendance, no need to worry. Everything is recorded. So we are recording entire things automatically in the software. So there is no need to worry about the attendance part as such of now. So I suggest people who are coming to my statistics class, just try to focus on the class. Do not rely on the recordings, on the attendance part as well. Just try to focus on the test. That's it. Okay, so I think we can wind up now. Thank you, Najia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Meghna. Okay, so I think we can wind up now. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone.